I have two really good friends who've been married less than 2 years. They were madly in love, but they didn't know how to properly communicate. And now they're getting divorced. How can you go from being madly in love to getting divorced in less than 2 years? I can tell you, it's lack of proper communication. Welcome to the Mental Health Janitors, where we help you clean up the mess in your head. I'm your host, Sgt Q, and with me, as always, Doc Jess.
Hi, thanks for being here.
Jess, you are a marriage expert. Well, you giggled, but
I'm
you are
giggling
a marriage
because
expert.
I'm so glad you opened this up to that, because I am going to challenge your opening statement.
That you're a marriage expert?
Before that.
Oh, that
the
was
reason marriage is that marriage or any marriage fails is because of communication.
Oh, that's my belief. All right, prove me wrong.
Yeah.
Let's go.
That communication plays a big role in the overarching destruction that a marriage goes down.
Okay.
Absolutely. But it's much deeper. It's a foundational thing.
So here's the thing, you guys. This is where it gets spicy, okay? Because we have a subject that we're going to unpack, and we don't script this out.
Yeah.
We just go for it. And I know my stuff, she knows her stuff, and then we're literally hash it out. So this doesn't happen a lot, but when it does happen, it makes for really good episodes. So you guys
really
are
good reality TV.
Because here we go. Battle lines are drawn. I say communication wins the battle, and you say,
I'm the marriage expert. Shut up.
See, that poor communication.
You said I'm the marriage expert, so.
Yes, but I'm the wild card. So here we go. I'm the maverick.
Okay. So loss of friendship.
Loss of friendship. I say communication. And so by the end of this episode, one of us will be right and one of us will be wrong. We don't know which one it is. All right.
I don't have time to properly stand behind my case. Maybe the thousands of hours that I've spent counseling couples and helping their marriages. No. Okay. So this is why I say it, because I have been to marriage counseling with my own husband many times. And the marriage counselors that just focused on communication, we got a lot of great tools. We went home and we practiced them. And then we stopped needing counseling because we started doing better. And then
Wait, isn't that the goal? To get to a point where you don't need counseling anymore?
Yes, but we always needed counseling more. No, those tools aren't substantially changing the foundation of the problem that began that miscommunication. When you're in your honeymoon stage that you're referring to as so you said they were madly in love.
Yeah. There's
no such thing as madly in love. Okay, so there's an actual term that Drs. John and his wife Gottmans, if you're familiar with the Gottmans, it's all research-based, really great stuff, but it's a term called limerence. And it's that honeymoon stage of dating and newly marrieds, okay? It's where their cute little quirks are cute to you. And, oh, that's so cute. It's where you would drive an hour to, if it's long distance, like Pastor Matt and Pastor Crystal when they were first married or first dating, they would drive long distances just to see each other for an hour when he was in the Army and then go back. Like you do that kind of stuff in that limerence phase, right? And then real life kicks in and some of those dopamine and oxytocin neurochemicals that are released become duller and duller and duller. And then one person starts feeling misheard, another starts feeling rejected by something, and those little micro hurts start rearing their ugly heads. And then what does your brain do? Protects you from danger, protects you from pain, protects you from threats. And so that's what starts happening in your brain when the limerence stage starts to go down and then self-preservation starts to take over. And what happens is if you think back to when you and your wife were dating, I mean, my husband and I would talk about everything. I wanted to know about his past. I wanted to know what made him happy. I wanted to know all these wonderful things about him. And your natural instincts in that phase of limerence is to constantly be getting to know each other. You're constantly changing. You're constantly wanting to get to know each other. And then you get married and you're like, okay, well, we got to know each other. Let's just do life now. And then slowly but surely you start drifting apart because you get busy and you have kids and these things start to happen. And that limerence phase of your marriage or relationship starts to go away. And so that's when really bad communication styles rear their ugly heads. You always had bad communication styles, but those bad communication styles come up when those negative emotions rear their ugly heads. Mm-hmm. So it's absolutely a part of it. And that's why a lot of counselors have the best of intentions to teach all these great communication skills, because it can really, really help. When I counsel couples, my first session with them is the 10 rules of engagement for communication, because it's so foundational. It's so transformative. It negates potential domestic violence. And maybe we'll do a special on those 10 rules of engagement sometime, because they're great. But I have never had a couple, hundreds of couples that I've gone over these 10 rules of engagement for communications. Not one of them has ever said, no, I don't like those. Everybody's like, oh my gosh, I wish I would have had these a long time ago. So the communication is a huge foundation that we cannot overlook. But at the end of the day, we can get all these tools and good communication. But if you're not constantly working at staying friends, trying to get to know each other in different seasons of your life, trying to look for the good in each other, you get into that self-survival, self-protective mode, and then slowly start to grow apart. And the next thing you know, the 7-year itch comes, people have affairs then, that limerence stage is over. People wake up one day and say, I feel like I'm just married to my roommate. I mean, 56 marriages end in divorce in the world, 54% in the church. And you might think, well, wow, that's not a big difference. And it's not. 54% in the church is bad already, but it's only 56% in the world because people aren't getting married anymore. They're just cohabitating. Mm-hmm. So if everybody got married before they slept together, like they did in the 40s, that divorce rate would be more of like 70 or 80%.
Right.
But divorces are happening without having to sign a paper. They're just cohabitating and then not anymore. So that's pretty much a divorce. And a really cool statistic that just solidifies how real God is there was a study in 2018 that came out with these statistics. And do you know what the percentage of couples that got divorced was who intentionally prayed together every day? Not just for their meal, not just good night to the kids. Like, hey, we're going to set aside this 5 or 10 minutes every morning or every night to pray over each other and to pray for each other. Guess what that statistic is?
I'd say less than 10%.
0.07%. Less than 1%.
Less than 1%, yeah.
Less than 1%.
That's something my wife and I do. And it's not something we've always done. I'd say in the last year, we've been doing that.
Yeah.
And it makes a huge difference.
It makes a huge difference.
It's that communication.
You can't enter the throne room. Think about entering the throne room and bowing at the foot of the cross with your bitterness and resentment. Mm-hmm. You can't do it.
Well, because when I'm praying for my wife, I'm praying good things over her, and she gets to hear that, and she gets to be part of that conversation, that communication that I'm having with God about her.
Yeah.
And vice versa. When we do that, we pray for our friends, for our employees, for each other. And we really get to see the heart of the person.
Yeah.
Instead of the negative bias that we've created, we actually get to see the heart of the person when they're in that prayer state.
Yeah. So if you don't believe in God, that's statistic right there.
That's huge. So we've educated them
Yeah.
on this subject and what actually happens in the brain. So we want to empower you guys now by giving you a tool. And you said you have a tool for us.
I have a great tool for us. It's a script that you can use and practice in your everyday life. It's cheesy, it's cliche, it's stupid easy, but it works. See, we see the same marriage counselor. So I take all her stuff. We gotta blast her some more clients.
So here's the thing. This is so funny. Because when you find something that's good, you share it.
Yeah.
Like, guys, we go to marriage counseling. We have good marriages. Guys, we go to counseling. Jess and Billy found a great counselor. They went there, really helped them. And when my wife and I are like, hey, we're looking for a marriage counselor, not because our marriage is deteriorated, but we don't want it to.
Yeah. Proactive.
We're struggling on these couple points. We need somebody to help us. They shared their counselor with us. So yes, we have the same counselor. And this tool is so stupid. I hate it, but I hate it because it works. It's so simple, you guys. When you learn this, you're going to be like, oh my gosh, I feel so stupid for never have done this before. This is so easy.
Yeah.
And it just is incorporated into our life. And you're right. It is cheesy. It seems simple. Like that's never going to work. That was my first thing too. And I do this on a regular basis. But it was so stupid easy that I thought to myself, why in the world have I not been doing this my whole life?
And I'm going to challenge you again. It's really hard, but it's simple. Until you get it down and figure out how to really do it, it's really hard.
Yes, I just wrote it on a piece of paper.
Okay, that's why, because you write it.
Yeah.
So that's my first thing is don't try this off the top of your head. Write it down and bring that script to your partner.
I literally do. It's in my phone.
Perfect.
I do that.
If you tried,
I walk through it.
I watch people screw this up so much when they just try to do it in their head because they always want to throw you out there.
Yes.
I feel something because of you.
Yes.
And it's so hard to separate yourself from that you. So what it is a script that you follow and you write down. It helps you put the problem out there without attacking character. And that means you can have an actual conversation surrounding the problem and it doesn't escalate into a 3-day fight.
I use scripts all the time in my business. I literally do. We have a script on how to answer the phone. We had a script on how to talk to a brand new prospect, a returning prospect after this. We have scripts built out so people don't have to think about what to say. They can just follow the script. And so when I got given this script for these conflicts, I was like, this is so dumb. Why have I not been doing this? I know this stuff. Why have I not been using this in my marriage? I was beside myself when she gave this to me. I thought, I am such a moron. Why did I not think of this myself? But it was it is easy if you just use the script. You're right. It's incredibly difficult if you try to keep it in your mind. So I honestly, it's in my phone.
Yeah.
And when I need to have a discussion, I just go to it and I put those pieces in.
Even further for me, Aaron, is I have my AI buddy in my phone programmed to help me work through it to take the use out of it.
I don't know if I like that.
I mean, that you don't have to like it. It works.
Yes, but then you're not building the neuroplasticity. You're reading the script, but you didn't have to create it.
It's not about building neuroplasticity. It's about having a conversation that doesn't end in a fight.
Yes, but at some point we got to take training wheels off, right? And you should be able to commit this to memory, and you should be able to do this without having the script where it becomes that muscle memory that we talk about.
Yes.
So I don't like the idea of using AI for this because you're not training your brain how to process the information properly. You're just relying on the AI, and then you're just reading the script, and you're not building the neural connections you need to be able to do this on your own. That's just my thought on it. Mm-hmm. So I, for one, wouldn't use AI for this, and I wouldn't recommend it. You are of a different theory.
Well, a couple things. I can see where you're coming from, but you also admitted that you do scripts all the time in other areas of your life when most people don't.
Oh,
so the idea of a script is so far out of their mind that they're like, I have no idea where to start. I have no idea how this looks.
I can see the point.
So I'm so glad that you can do that. But I would say 95 out of 100, especially men, don't.
Yeah.
And
you're right.
And so the reason why I tell husbands who already have a little bit of experience with AI, making sure that it's not doing all the work for them, but sometimes we need examples in order for us to get and understand a full concept. And so what I mean by setting it up in AI is like literally giving AI the script.
So you're creating an agent at that point. Where
Yes.
You're telling it, here's
this is
the
what I'm trying to
script,
do.
And then you tell the story and it helps you formulate it.
Yes.
Okay.
And it helps them take the defense and the attacking of the character out of it so they can see how to do it. And eventually, the more they do it, they'll start picking up on it. But you have to start this tool at least writing it down. Because the difference between writing it down and just saying it from your head is, mark my words, when you say it just from your head, you're going to constantly be catching yourself saying you. And the foundation of this script is taking all the you out. So without further ado, the script is I see, I feel, I need, and then I wonder. So the I see, I feel, I need is all me. I'm presenting this as this is my problem that I need help with, not your problem. This is my problem and I could really use some help with this. I wonder, and then you can collaborate about the problem. And so the reason why it's really hard is because we're so wired to not take accountability for our shortcomings and our actions, right? You can work on it your whole life and it's still that little prick of like, oh, I could have done that better. And so getting in this repetition of
rhythm
repetition of I see, I feel, I need is learning over and over and over again how to not place blame. And sometimes when you're getting started, you need some examples of how to do that.
So I'll give you an example. This is from my own life. Holly gets Amazon almost every day.
This is going to be perfect.
Between Holly and my mom and even Aaliyah sometimes, boxes are here nonstop. And so they end up in the hallway. It really makes me crazy because that's an egress. It seems dangerous. And so in the past, I would say, can you stop leaving boxes in the hallway? It pisses me off. That's what I used to say. But I've learned better communication. And so now I say, I see that there are a lot of boxes in the hallway. I feel very unsafe when they're in an egress. I need a place where these boxes can live that are not in the egress. I wonder if you could help me find that place.
Perfect. That's really good.
Yeah, right? Almost like I've done this a bunch of times.
Almost. Exactly. Right?
And I can do that off the top of my head now. But in the beginning, I'm like, and there's even times now where I'm, okay, hold on. Because I'm elevated and I'm in that emotional mind and I'm not in a good cognitive place to process it.
Yep.
So I want to act out of emotion. And so I have to stop. Sometimes I can't talk to Holly about that thing right then. I can't because I'm too emotionally invested in it. So I have to pause, go look at the script, work it out and be like, I really want to say this, but I can't. So how do I change it?
Yeah.
And then I'll go back. But I can do it now because I've created those neural pathways in my brain. Now, I still can't do it when I'm emotionally escalated. Honestly, I just can't.
And that's why writing out the script is a good on two parts, okay? Because it gives you time to separate yourself from the emotional elevation of the moment. It gives you an excuse to separate yourself from that so you don't say stupid things because your emotions are high. And you sit down and you work through the I see, I feel, I need, I wonder to a place where you can at least just read off of that. And when a wife is used to this kind of verbiage, you always leave these boxes in the egress. You don't ever listen to me. You're so disrespectful. Like, what the heck are you understanding? I've told you to stop leaving these here, right? You're getting harsh because you're elevated. You're feeling disrespected. You're feeling unheard. You're feeling like it's a direct attack on you when it's not. It's just a box. When you go from that kind of communication to reading a script, you might think this is so cheesy. If you go from that to, I see boxes in the egress, I feel as if it's dangerous for them to be there in case of an emergency. I need this area to stay clear. I wonder if we can set up a better place for the boxes when they come. She's going to be like, yes, whatever I can do to help you.
That's honest. You're being dramatic, but that's exactly the reaction I get. Like, people are thinking you're being dramatic, but that's real life. Like, that's the
It's
reaction
like,
I get.
oh my gosh. And so what is the goal at the end of communication?
The goal is to come back together, to reconcile, to solve whatever problem that is.
Yeah.
And a lot of times my experience is that when people see a problem, it's like one person holding the problem and the other person banging into them trying to solve it. And this communication style allows you to say, this is the problem. How can we work together to solve it?
Yes. At the end of the day, there's three things that you want. One of these three things at the end of a conversation, communication, is to feel heard, validated, connected, or resolve some kind of conflict.
Mm-hmm.
And so when I'm just communicating out of anger, out of emotions, I'm not going to be heard. I'm not going to be validated. It's not going to resolve any kind of conflict. And we're definitely not going to connect. So we want to till the soil of the recipient. There's a sender, receiver. The receiver, we want to till that soil so the seeds get planted so they can grow. And this script helps till that soil so that what you're saying lands, you're heard, validated, connected, and now resolving a conflict.
This script style of communication is the best way to improve your marriage. It creates a neural pathway that allows you to see the problem separate from your spouse. This means that they're not going to feel attacked and you're going to be able to find solutions together. I've been doing this for the past 6 months now, and it has dramatically increased the intimacy in our relationship. So yeah, I just have to give a shout out to Dr. Gold.
She's gold.
Yes.
Dr.
Really
Gold is gold.
She really is. She is fantastic. She's just a great person too, but she's helped improve the communication in my marriage.
Mm-hmm.
And so thank you for that recommendation. That was fantastic.
Well, and we incorporate some of her stuff in our marriage seminar.
I was just going to ask you, when you teach your marriage seminar, you incorporate this in?
Yeah.
It is amazing. She has really created a gem here of a tool.
Yeah.
And so I'm hoping that you guys really paid attention to this because it is so valuable. And I think you guys would agree that communication is the most important part of your marriage.
Okay. We're gonna have a to be continued because there's so much more.
Awesome. And so that so much more, Jess, is your marriage seminar. So tell us just briefly, what is that? What is it that you do in this seminar and why should people join it?
Yeah, this marriage seminar is so cool because so many marriage seminars put everybody in the same room and go over a lot of it is communication stuff, which is great and helpful. The difference between every seminar I've ever been to or seen and mine and Billy's is we start by separating the men and the women and talking to them directly first. A lot of times I see more damage done at these seminars because your brain is wired to protect yourself. So when you're hearing all the things your spouse should be doing, you're not hearing all the things you should be working on. And so I've seen a lot more damage done actually in some of these marriage seminars based on some of these Christian marriage books. And you can DM me if you want to know which ones to stay away from. I'm not going to shout them out here, but that's one thing that makes it different with us is we start the seminar off separate, and I have a come to Jesus talk with the girls. He has a come to Jesus talk with the boys. Let's be very clear on our roles because it's a biblical seminar. Let's be clear on our roles. Let's go into this with the mindset and the intentionality of I'm here to learn how I can be the best partner. The second thing is we've broken it up into 4 different sections. And really, there's a lot of interaction in these seminars, and there's a lot of stories that Billy and I lead with of where we went wrong. And that's another thing that you've taught us, right? Is that Our brains are always going to choose how to protect ourselves from failure before seeking pleasure. And so let's just throw all of our failures out there for a couple reasons, because it shows you what not to do, but it also makes people feel like they're not crazy, like they're not the only dysfunctional ones. Oh, they're here teaching this and they do the same thing. Okay, we're in good company. Right. And so we go through a lot of Gottman's research through the marriage seminar, which is all the research that they came up with from years and years and years of marital research. And they can predict with 97% accuracy if a marriage is going to last 6 years or not. And then if it's going to last happy or not. And all of these things we go over the things that work, the things that don't work, how to rebuild if you guys have drifted. And so really it's a great seminar for almost all stages of marriage to at least start somewhere.
You know, my favorite part of your seminar, Jess, is not the seminar itself. It's the aftercare that you guys provide. So many marriage seminars out there are you pay a fee, you get in the room, they tell you all this stuff, they maybe give you a book or a pamphlet, and then you're on your own. That doesn't work for the majority of people. The majority of people need some coaching. They need some help post all that learning. It's like drinking from a fire hose. Yeah. And so I love the aftercare that you guys provide that people can be a part of, where you then go back through those things. So you're not teaching them new stuff. No. You're just going more in depth over those things that they were taught in the original seminar. I think that is a brilliant way to do it. People are going to get so much more value because you offer that aftercare piece. I think that is the most special thing that you guys do. And I wish that everybody had that same mindset of beyond the class, what do they do?
Yeah.
How do they, once they're using these skills and these tools, how do they fine tune it? How do they work with it? So putting the people together in that group where they're all working together for the same goal and you're coaching them, I got to tell you, I think that is fantastic.
Well, and the research shows, right? We have to build on those new neurotransmitters, those new neural pathways, those new communication disciplines. We need to do them with repetition in order for them to take root and grow. Salespeople say it all the time, future's in the follow-up.
Yes.
So it's not even about sales. It's about literally the transformation is in the follow-up.
Yeah. I see like people say, oh, you must be a motivational speaker. I'm not a motivational speaker. I'm a transformational speaker. Because when I go, you may like the things I say, but then I give you a pathway forward. Yeah. And you guys have done the exact same thing. You give people a pathway forward, and it's so important for their growth.
Yeah. Another thing that I think is really cool about this dynamic is that it's my husband and me. I can't tell you the amount of, I would say 80% of my couples that I counsel in a counseling office as a licensed professional counselor, where it was like dragging the husband into counseling. And it is what it is. They're wired differently. They get different messaging when wives say we need counseling, and we'll cover that on another day. It's not because he doesn't care about your marriage. It's not because he doesn't care about you. It's because 9 out of 10 men just take it as a self-failure. And we'll unpack that later. But I've noticed men are a little more open to going to a day seminar than counseling. And then when they see a dude up there co-teaching it, they're like, okay, somebody's going to have my back.
That's the important piece right there, Jess. From the male perspective, knowing that there's a guy up there, it's like, okay, he understands how I think. He understands what I value. Then when they hear that guy be able to articulate all the things that they think and feel and have never been able to say, got it.
Yeah.
They're like, okay, I trust this guy.
Yeah.
And that's what Billy does.
They feel seen and heard.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Well, we love to do 3 things here. We educated you. We empowered you with a really cool tool, and we encourage you to take the next step. And for you guys who want to take the next step in your marriage, sign up with Jessica. We're going to put a link in the show notes. There's going to be a link for you guys to click to sign up for your next marriage seminar. This thing is amazing. You can do it in person if you're in the Northwest, or you can do it online. It's incredibly valuable. I highly recommend that you check out this seminar. For the Mental Health Janitors, Sgt Q.
I'm Doc Jess.
And we're out.